Right, I'm going to show you how to change out pins on the 16-way connector. This will be required for the MOBICON solution. So this is your joystick, obviously. You may recognize it, or you may have the JC150, which does not have the specific handle. It has a slightly squarer base, well, more rectangular base, but this is, I'll use a JC6000 to show what I mean. To actually take the connector out, you need to press on this tab here, this little fella there, and wriggle and pull, and you'll get the unit out. Now, what we're going to have is this new module which will plug into this section. So we'll come on here, and there will be another harness coming along from the unit along to this. Now, the unit will require, the little buffer board will require a 24 volt power supply uninterrupted, as well as a 0 volts. So we're not using pin 2 and 3 on this connector, which is basically 1, 2 and 3 there. Now, how do you know if it's 1 or 2? You can actually see the digit 1 here and a digit 8, so that's your top row. So the best way and easiest way to identify it is to have a look at the connector, where the tab is. On the right hand side, that's your pin 1, so we've got pin 2 and pin 3. We'll remove pin 2 and pin 3, because pin 2 will be our 24 volts power supply, and pin 3 will be our 0 volts. You could, if possible, actually take the wires out from the harness itself, if it's not wired or terminated, and terminate these to your 24 and your 0 volts. So you will actually see labeling pin 2, and on here, I'm not sure if you can see that there will be pin 3, but you know, it's a lot easier to see when you're looking right up at it. So to pull these pins out, it's actually quite simple. You'll need to lift this little tab up. So you can just wedge it like that, one side. See, what I've done is just wedged between here and here. Okay, pop that side up, and then on the opposite side as well. So all I've done is just wedged like so to lift this little cover open. Okay, now here is the tricky part. Not really tricky, but it might help you to know what's going on. Inside the connector, the pin comes through this way, and then there's a little lever that pushes down on the actual pin to stop it from moving. So to remove it, you go in on pin 2. I'm going to start. Now what I'm using is one of these little flathead screwdrivers, a little watchmaker screwdriver. It's small enough to fit in there and pick up that pin. So I go in with the flat section onto it. Now watch what I do. I come in on a pretty steep angle and I hit the actual pin. Once I get in there, I'll lift it up and just pull on the wire. You might not get it the first time. Here we go, I'll get it this time, and there you go, it will pop out. As you're lifting and pulling down, you'll need to pull on the wire to do that. So we'll get pin 3 out, so you slide on a really steep top angle like that, and then you'll feel you'll actually stop on the pin end, and I should be really pulling on the wire as I do this, and there you go. I'm pulling fairly hard on here. You know, that's quite a fair bit of tension. So that's all you have to do. And once you have that, you'll have this new cable supplied to you, which will have a red and a black wire. The red will be the pin 2. Now to put that in, you make the crimp section. I'll get it a little bit closer. The crimp section will go up towards the top. So I'll put both pins at once. Might as well, it'll be easier to slide them in. You can see they go in like so. Just wiggle them in, and you hear a little click when you get to the end of it. So just push those in. That one's in. This one's not quite all the way in. Okay, maybe a little bit more. Use a different tool. Okay, I crimped this one pretty badly, so that's why it's not going in. Here we go. Now that's no problem. There she goes. So you'll see they're nicely even in. When I send you the proper ones, I'll crimp them properly. This was just a rough job, and all you do is clamp that over. Okay, and then you have your separate power supply wires. 24 volts on the red, ground on the black, and just connect. That obviously will connect into the little module, and the module will come in, have a special harness with two of the same connectors, and it will go in there, and essentially you'll be plugging that in there. So thank you for watching.